Back on CBS Sports HQ, 3 rounds in the book, moving day done. Louis Oosthuizen still atop the leaderboard at the 149th playing of the Open Championship. He will try and get his hands on the claret jug for the second time in his career. Sunday marking exactly 11 years to the day since Louis' win back in 2010. He will have to hold off the likes of Collin Morikawa, Jordan Spieth, and a whole host of others giving chase as we turn our attention to Sunday at the Open. Let's get our guys in the mix. CBS Sports senior golf writer Kyle Porter and Sportsline analyst Rick Gehman. Here we are again, gentlemen. Louis Oosthuizen laying his head on the pillow with a 54-hole lead at a major. That lead is won. Kyle Porter, we most recently saw this movie a month ago at Torrey Pines at the U.S. Open. Is there reason to believe that Louis finally goes out there on Sunday and gets it done?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. The one thing that I keep going back to, Joe, is this is the first time since 2010 that he's had the 36-hole outright lead at a major. It's the first time since 2010 that he's had the 54-hole outright lead at a major. And what did he do in 2010? He went out and won that Open Championship at St. Andrews. So I do think this is, I mean, it doesn't sound like a ton to be tied for the lead after 36 versus having the solo lead, but you know, for Louis, the margins have been super thin. That's what we always talk about, right? Is he's lost 2 majors in playoffs. He's lost 2 majors by 1 stroke. So to have those tiny leads after 36 holes and 54 holes, that's actually a big deal, I think, for him going into the final round. Louis is not somebody, and we talked about this before this round, it's not like he's going to go out and shoot 75 on Saturday and Sunday. His average final round score in his 6 runner-up finishes at majors is 69.8. So he's going out and putting scores together. He's just kind of gotten clipped. Now you can argue about whether that was him rolling over or laying down or whatever, but he's gone out and shot the scores. He just hasn't won the tournament. So I do think there's a ton of reason for optimism for Louis to get his second major on Sunday afternoon.
I'm pretty optimistic as well. Kyle's right in the fact that Louis' many runner-up finishes haven't really been his fault. It's not like he's gone out and shot a 77, 78, really melted down or ejected from these golf tournaments. Someone else has just edged him out. Now, we saw a couple of loose swings from Louis Oosthuizen on Saturday, but that is certainly warranted. The guy shot a 129 through the first 2 rounds, set a new Open Championship scoring record for 36 holes. It was only a matter of time before he was going to eventually make a bogey, but he really held it together late. His style of golf, I think, sets up well and beautifully for Royal St. George's. Just find the fairway, find the green, and give yourself an opportunity to roll in as many putts as possible. And this year, he's been one of the better putters that we have on the PGA Tour. So this is a really sustainable strategy and blueprint that Louis Oosthuizen has put together through 3 rounds. He just needs to do it for 1 more and hope it's good enough to hoist another claret jug.
Well, we will see if it bears fruit here Sunday stateside. That'll go down around the early afternoon. We'll break it all down right here on HQ, and we will head into Sunday the way we did Saturday, guys. Oosthuizen out in front with Collin Morikawa, Jordan Spieth giving chase. After bogeying the first two of the first 5 holes, Morikawa settles in, plays the rest of the way in 4 under. Rick, it was once again a master class in iron play. Heading into tomorrow, is that tee to green prowess enough to offset then maybe let's call it a less than solid putter?
I think it is, and let's be real, this Saturday round could have been much worse. You know, he stumbled out of the gate. He actually made what I thought was a really good par on number 1, and then he made a really good bogey on number 2. This could have easily gotten away from him. He could have been 3-4 over par by the time he made the turn, and we have seen this from Collin Morikawa a couple times in his career. The ability to just kind of get back into the grind mode, to lean on his weapon, which is the iron play, the approach play. And we saw that as he started to make the turn and then into his back 9. I mean, he was phenomenal after stumbling out of the gate. I do think that, I have concerns if he's going to be able to make enough putts on Sunday. I have that same concern about everybody in the field because it's no longer a marathon, it's a sprint. But Collin Morikawa is going to give himself so many looks at birdie seemingly over the course of his final 18 holes that you have to think he is a real threat to win this golf tournament.
Yeah, I think for me, it's all about the first 5 or 6 holes for Morikawa on Sunday. He looked like a 24-year-old playing in his first Open Championship over those first 5 holes on Saturday in round 3. But after that, Joe, I mean, it was an exhibition. I mean, Louis, I tweeted this out. Louis can't have played with that many guys who have made his iron play look that bad. And Louis wasn't that bad. He hit it pretty well. He had a few loose shots, but Morikawa, I mean, he put on a show over those last 2 hours. And so I think that's the concern if you're Louis. If he comes out from the first tee and is doing that and is just firing at pins from the get-go, that's a problem because he probably is going to make enough of those putts to go out, shoot, I don't know, 66, 67, 68, somewhere in that range. So that, for me, it's the first 5 holes for Morikawa. If he can jump out to that start, I mean, his iron play this week has been, it's made 2 of the better iron players on the planet, Louis and Jordan Spieth, look pretty impotent by comparison.
Just once I would like to flush one, the way he flushes every single one of those irons. It would be 2 majors before the age of 25 for Collin Morikawa, who would then go on to represent the United States at the Tokyo Olympics in just a couple of weeks. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Still 18 holes of pressure-packed golf to play at Royal St. George's. As for Jordan Spieth, it pains me to say, sits in solo third, 3 off the lead with a third-round 69, 5 birdies on the card, but this round more accurately defined by a few missed opportunities on the back 9 and then a wasted stroke there on 18. Goes out in 32, comes home in 37, straight to the practice putting greens after blocking that foot-long putt on 18. KP, what did you make of Spieth Saturday here and in turn his chances heading into Sunday?
Well, it wasn't good, and now he's put himself in a position where he kind of had some control over the tournament. Probably has to get a couple breaks now. You're not going to get again the 2 guys ahead of him, Morikawa and Louis. They're huge stars. It's not like they're going to go out and shoot 78 and kind of hand it to you on Sunday. I just don't envision that happening. I thought Spieth's finish was similar to Friday, where he just kind of limped home. And look, you're 77 yards out on the 17th hole, hitting your second shot, and you finish 5-5 like that. That's not good, you know. And you'll see the 17th here where he tries to kind of run one up there and just gets, Matumbo'd here by that false front. It just trickles all the way back down. It was a really weak finish, I thought, from him. And that putt on 18 was just, it was abysmal. I mean, look, we knew there would be drama, and there certainly was late. It just maybe wasn't the type of drama you wanted if you were rooting for Jordan Spieth to win his second claret jug.
Oh man, look, I can't watch that. Yeah, it was a disappointing finish, obviously, for Jordan Spieth to go bogey, to miss that one, and unfortunately for Spieth, as good as he has been here in 2021, now going 6 or 7 months, those short putts continue to haunt him. He has always seemed to have issues on those putts where he doesn't make enough of them. He's no problem rolling them in from 20, 25, 30 feet, but it's when he gets over those 2.5 footers or those 3 footers that really give him trouble, and he literally sprints off the putting green the 18th putting green to head to the practice putting green to see if he can find something that gives him a little bit of confidence heading into the final 18 holes. It's certainly not lost on me, gentlemen, that if any of these 3 golfers at the top of the leaderboard win this, it's going to be pretty historic. Louis is going to add a second major, double his major title. Collin Morikawa is going to put himself on a career trajectory out of the gate that is almost unheard of. And then Jordan Spieth to add another major, now 4, or what would be 4, starts putting you into a different tier of historical context. So there's something really special brewing for the final 18 holes of this event.
The Open Championship, always good for some history. We will no doubt see it on Sunday. Guys, with 148 of these editions etched in history already, a San Diego summer forecast out there in Sandwich, we know that a low number could be lurking on Sunday. Paul Lawrie, Ernie, Patty, Phil, it can be done. Rick, by the numbers, how far back is too far back?
It's getting very short. The list of guys who can win this golf tournament is very short. I think 4 or 5 strokes back, which only probably brings in, 6 or 7 golfers, something like that, because the way that Louis has kind of extended and separated himself, the way that Collin Morikawa has that, the second position handled, and then Jordan Spieth, it's seemingly, without Mother Nature, going to be very hard to make up a lot of strokes if you're coming from further back than that. We heard both Jon Rahm and Louis Louis Oosthuizen mentioned in their post-round interviews how devious some of these pin positions are. And while that can certainly help someone in the chase back, maybe put up a crooked number for somebody on the top of the leaderboard, I think without Mother Nature, without those really crazy wins that we were hoping to get all week long, it's going to be difficult for someone further down the pack to really come up and steal this thing.
Yeah, I think the bigger question here is, can Jon Rahm win this golf tournament? Because that's kind of what we're talking about here, right? Like, there's not anybody behind him that you're going to say can win the tournament. And I think the problem for Rahm and even Scotty Scheffler and Corey Connors is you're not dealing with Richard Bland at the top of the leaderboard, right? You're dealing with three major winners and two guys that have won the Open. So maybe you can beat Spieth and Morikawa, but can you beat all three of them? Maybe you can beat Oosthuizen and Spieth, but can you beat all three guys on a Sunday in a major championship? I mean, if Jon Rahm wins this tournament, it's going to be one of the all-time great rounds in major championship history to win a U.S. Open and an Open Championship in the same year. So could it happen? For sure. Is it going to? Probably not.
All right, as we do every week, gentlemen, we allow for amendment with 54 holes in the books and history out in front of us. Kyle Porter, your pick to win the 149th Open Championship is who?
Well, just to amuse you guys, I'll stick with Spieth because I don't listen. Like, I don't feel great about looking on my TV and seeing Cameron McCormick, laying down on the practice putting green at Royal St. George's. That does not engender a ton of confidence in me for what's going to happen on Sunday. But I'll stick with Spieth. I'll say he goes out, gets his second claret jug, his fourth major championship, ties Brooks Koepka, ties Rory McIlroy, and beats Collin Morikawa and Louis Oosthuizen on Sunday.
I hope Jordan Spieth wins. It would make for great content on the First Cut pod. That would be awesome. But I'm going to pick Louis Oosthuizen here. You know, he has, to me, been in complete control of his game through the first three rounds, and there's really no reason to think that's going to stop anytime soon. Now, I do worry about that one errant shot that we have seen from him, both at the Zurich Classic under pressure, the U.S. Open under pressure. I do worry about that, but I've got a little bit of concerns about everybody in this field. I think Louis finally breaks through, ends this run of runner-up finishes, and goes out and wins his second claret jug.
It's one of those classic Rick Gehman heart says, head says, pocket says situations. We're going to see how it all plays out on Sunday, and it's going to be a blast, gentlemen. Thank you as always. Hey, don't forget, there's only one place to be on the tail end of each and every one of these rounds. It is the First Cut Podcast. Our guys take you under the ropes and into the action each and every week on tour, including an Open Championship Megapod coming your way Sunday night. You won't want to miss. Download and subscribe to the First Cut Podcast.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.